Hey guys, it's your favorite auntie. So you all know that Shaunie O'Neal has been under fire recently because she wrote a new book titled Undefeated. And in this book, she decides to be very open and transparent about her life. And she said that in hindsight, now that she thinks about it, she wasn't really in love with her ex-husband, Shaquille O'Neal. So obviously, Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco discussed it on their podcast entitled The Nightcap. And Ocho actually really comes to Shawnee's defense. Everything in this video is alleged, it is in my opinion, and it's just for entertainment purposes. So let's get into it. Let me play the clip of what Ocho had to say in response to the revelation that came out in Shawnee's book.
Oh man, yeah, just to hear something like that. Obviously, Shawnee is a friend of mine. Shaq is a friend of mine. I would have loved to see those two work it out. When I think of power couples, people doing their own thing in their respective crafts and being successful at it. Obviously, things didn't work out. They parted ways. That's tough though. I think many of athletes at times are in situations or they're with women at times in the infidelity and the issues and the problems, it overshadows the glitz and glamour. And I think at one point maybe she did love Shaq, but all the other issues that came with being with a person or player of his caliber, I think it overshadowed that. And at some point, the love went away. What you think? Or am I wrong?
Missing the point of what she said. She said there's one you can love someone but not be in love. There's a difference between the two.
So when you look at Ocho's initial perspective, he was under the impression that maybe Shaunie was in love with her husband at one time, ex-husband at one time, but then because of the infidelities that she had to go through, that perhaps, the love was not there anymore. And then of course Shannon had to say that there's a difference between being in love with someone and actually loving someone. Here's my take on this. I have two views on this subject here. The first view I have is I was very shocked at the fact that she would write a book, and in that book you do have to dig deep, because she even talked about this when she appeared on Tamron Hall. She talked about how she initially wrote the book, and I think it was it her. I don't know if it was her editor, her publicist. Someone told her that she just didn't go deep enough into the book. That it was very surface. And we kind of saw that on Basketball Wives. Her life was just very surface. She didn't really dig deep into her life. And a lot of stuff that you know about her really just comes through social media and all of the blogs and everything that has been said about her and her relationship with her ex-husband, Shaquille O'Neal. So on one hand, I look at it like she finally just spoke her truth, which is, now that she looks back on it, she was in the relationship, I'm sure, for the life that he could provide for her. She loved the lifestyle. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to be taken care of by a man, not have to work, and everything you need is just, right there at your fingertips until it gets old. And I think she just was being brutally honest with herself, sitting in the fact that I have to own that I was not in love with him and I was with him for the wrong reasons. Yes, the marriage resulted in, she technically had 4 children with him, and because she had a son before she married him. So the marriage resulted in, the family dynamic, but that she just wanted to, if she's going to tell her story, you just got to be open and just tell the whole thing, whether it looks good, it looks bad. I'm just going to tell my truth, because there does come some freeing with that. You're not bondage by the image that people have of you. You can just finally just be honest about your life when you release a book, an autobiography about yourself. You just got to tell the ugly truth. Now, on the other hand, I think about her kids. I think about Shaq's mom. I think about Shaq's family and everybody who loves Shaq. That is just really detrimental for someone to openly tell the world that they were never in love with you. And he took it as best as he could, by posting his statement saying that he understands he wouldn't have been in love with him either. And so to some degree, maybe he really does get it. Maybe he gets the fact that, hey, you know what? I was not the husband that she needed. She's had to endure a lot herself with all of the infidelities, all the people, even cast members that were accused of sleeping with her ex-husband. So all the public humiliation that she's had to endure over all of these years. And then she finally speaks her truth. I kind of feel like on one hand, where was that support when she was constantly dealing with all of the many women that Shaq had in his life while she was married to him? No one was coming out then and saying, oh, poor Shaunie, I can't believe, she has to endure this. I feel so bad for her. But now it's poor Shaq because look what happened. So I do see both sides to that no, was this the appropriate way to let someone know that, I was with you for the wrong reasons? No, it's not. I think for the kids' sake, some things you just have to just remain private. You could still tell your story, and people can gather that from your story without you having to just explicitly say it. Now, let's get into her response to everyone, coming out and talking about this matter. I don't think she cleared anything up. Let's take a look at it. So she comes out and she says she was in love with the idea of being married to the man she had a family with. She was in love with the idea of building a life together. She says, I truly did enjoy spending time with him. And I pulled this off of the Shade Room. This is what they posted. She also said during an interview with People magazine that the quote was taken out of context. She says, I'm not a word girl. I'm a character girl. And since I've left the marriage of Shaquille, my character has spoken for itself. Of course, they poke fun at the fact that she's not a word girl, but yet she wrote a book. She then went on to say that when you love somebody, you love somebody. But to be in love with somebody is a different feeling. And I will be honest, I didn't realize that until I found the love of my life right now. And I'm in this marriage. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a different feeling. So I don't feel like she cleared anything up. I mean, that's what everybody said. That's exactly what Shannon Sharp said. He said that she said to be in love with somebody is different than loving someone. So essentially, it's the same thing. You were saying you were not in love with Shaq. You realize that now that you're married to Pastor Henderson, that you're actually in love with him, and you were not in love with your husband. But it's the way that it came out. It's in a book. It's detrimental to his family. It's hurtful. Can you imagine if Shaq, because he did write a memoir, but imagine if he wrote in his memoir that he never was in love with Shaunie. Now that he looks back on it, he's married. Let's say he was married to someone else. And he was like, now that I'm with my new wife, I look back on it. I was never in love with her. I mean, that's the most hurtful thing that anybody could do to someone. So initially, Ocho defends her, but once Shannon kind of brings up the fact that the difference between her saying that she was loving him but not in love with him, he did change his tune for the rest of the interview discussion. You guys can go back and check that out on their YouTube page. But there was a change where he was just like, oh, okay, hold on, let me check with my girl, make sure she in love with me, because I need to see how this affects my household. But he's friends with them, so I think naturally you want to come to her defense. But I think he had to realize, like, whoa, I didn't know it was like that. And no, she's basically saying, nah, bro, nah, I actually wasn't in love with them. And she just got to own it. She said it. She's got to own it. There was nothing taken out of context. I think she just didn't expect that one little excerpt to just gain legs. But, hey, it might help her sell some books. But I would love to see her come out and just kind of issue an apology. She said that she can't believe that Shaq took it and ran with it. I mean, he should. What if he said that about you? You would feel some type of way too. So I would hope that she would come out and just really apologize, but just say, hey, you know what? I have to own that that's how I felt. And I just really hate the way that I said that, the way it came out. I just noticed that there's a difference between the love I have with my current husband and what I had with my ex-husband. But I wish I had said it in a better way. That's my thoughts about it. You guys let me know if you feel any way different. Do me a favor though. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That really helps my channel to get noticed on YouTube. And it just really helps growth, and it just shows support. So I would appreciate if you guys could do that for me. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you guys on the next video.